Hello, everybody. Trying to get on here to make sure that I'm actually live. Oh, there we are. All right, everybody. How are you? Happy Saturday. Happy October the 18th. Y'all, the month is half gone. I'm not sure where it went, but it is gone. If you are here, please say hello in the comments, in the chat. I don't know what this is. Oh, look at that. Okay. See, I'm learning all kinds of stuff on here, except for the fact that I cannot see comments. Never, ever, never. It's very annoying. But if you were here, please say hello in the comments, and I will see if I can get them to. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it. That's fine. I hope you're having a good Saturday. If you are here, hello, Teresa. I can't see comments over here on my phone. So if I'm looking elsewhere, that is what I'm doing right now. It's fussing at me because my signal is too low. And so I'm going to uh, close out anything that I'm not using. I am going to close out. So I think I have everything I possibly can close out. So there's that. Hello, 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 Teresa. I'm so glad you're here. If anyone else hops on, please feel free. Whoa, sorry, squirrel. The wind just picked up big time outside. Holy smokes! It's pretty as pretty can be outside. It is absolutely gorgeous. But man, that wind just picked up. We're supposed to have storms a little bit later, so not looking forward to that. For anybody that has lived through storms and a tornado, you get a little bit antsy when they call for storms. That's where I'm at, but that's all right. So, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I'm gonna hop right into it, mainly because I want to talk a little bit more in depth about this. But if you do hop on, please say hello in the comments. I love, last week my comments were not working worth anything. Um, let's see if I, nope. Let's see what this does. Nope. It's not gonna. I've seen Teresa's hello, but I don't pass that. I have no idea what's going on. So if there are comments and I don't see them, I'm so very sorry. I'm trying with everything I got here to be able to see them, and so um, anyway, all right. So let's get started. So this month we've been talking about your worthiness and expanding your worthiness. And y'all, let me tell you. Let me start out by saying I say last Thursday night like it was a week ago. 2 nights ago on Thursday night, our embracing me group coaching session, we talked about. And this topic came from ladies in the group because one of the things that I do is obviously I listen to my clients, but I really hear what they're saying, and they basically told me this is where I'm getting stuck, right? So even though I've sort of created an outline for myself for the month of October, I took a step back and I said, you know what? This is what they wanted and this is what I want to do. So that's what I did. So I sort of switched a little bit, the script, so to speak, and I went to something that they wanted. And what it was, they were one of them specifically, but I think as a collective, they were struggling with, and we're going to talk about this today as well a little bit. But we are bombarded by everybody else's expectations, other people's goals for you. My parents, they loved me, but they had goals for me, right? They had expectations for me, and we get that from a lot of different people. Maybe not our parents, maybe it's peers, maybe it's social media, maybe it's TV, maybe it's whatever at work. And so one of the things that we really talked about Thursday night was that you were born worthy. Period. Hard stop. You were born worthy. The problem comes in is when other people's opinions, expectations, comparisons, all those things start bombarding us, and it starts chipping away at our worthiness as a human. And that is human, right? That's just what it is to be living where we're living. And what I mean by that is like on this planet, period. going through a human experience. And we just have to sort of figure out what of those beliefs that have been put on us are true and what needs to be reframed, not unlearned, right? Because I never, and I talked about this Thursday night as well, I never want any client, anybody for that matter, to think that your experience does not matter. Your experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, make up who we are. And I would not be who I am today had I not gone through it all, right? You would not be who you are today had you not gone through it all. And it's the bad and the ugly suck. There's no way around it. But it just that's just the process, right? That's just how it is to be human. And um, so we talked about what are those beliefs, those expectations, those values, whatever it is, the words that people have said that have turned into a belief that have chipped away at you feeling unworthy, and how can we reframe it? And it was so beautiful Thursday night, and I have heard from a couple of participants outside of Thursday night. They messaged me to say, I've had to really sit and think about this, which is I love, because part of the healing process is to sit and think and and to really evaluate where you are, and it's just been very great. And I've talked to some folks on Thursday night, and just sort of helping them get through, because some of these are core beliefs that they've had for a very long time, and so it's been a challenge, and that's okay. It takes time. Healing is not easy, but it is worth it. It is worth it. So back to today, we're talking about how to show up as you, and where you are in your life, and allowing yourself to take up space. And so if you are where you are, I'm going to start with just a little grounding, because the energy has been a little wacky this week, and weather has been a little wacky this week. So I just want to just a minute, literally just for a minute. So if you are where you can, Teresa says it was such a good night. I had a big aha moment. Oh, yep, you did. Mine was so deep. It has taken this long for me to just see the whole picture. Yeah, it is. Sometimes you need to sit. You need to hear it, and then you need to sit with it and process it. Absolutely. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Okay, so if you are where you are, or where you can, let's sit just for a minute with our eyes closed. And I would like for you to take a deep breath in and exhale out the mouth. And do that again just for you, taking this time for you. Inhale deep through the nose and exhale. And I'm going to say a few things, and I just want you to feel into this, okay? Just leaving your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. And today, reminder, we're talking about how you are allowed to take up space. And so many women, and I work with them as clients, have been conditioned to shrink themselves. Maybe maybe you apologize. Maybe you shrink and stay quiet. You shrink to make others feel comfortable. You stay small to make others feel comfortable. And there's many other ways. You don't speak up. You don't show up. And maybe you do this. I've done it. I still do it. It's a process. But the truth is, your presence, your voice, your energy belongs here. You're not too much. You're not in the way. You're not a burden. You are allowed to take up space. And so as I go through today, this short little talk, I want you to remember that your worth isn't measured by how invisible you can be. It's measured by how authentically you show up. Let me say that again. Your worth is not measured by how invisible you can be or make yourself, but how authentically you show up. And take a deep breath in here. And exhale. And let's talk about it. Let's open our eyes. So I mentioned some ways we already shrink ourselves, right? For those of you that, don't know my story, I went through my yoga teacher training at 40. How old was I? 40? I think I was 40. And, is that right? 42. I can't math. I went through yoga teacher training at 42, so I knew that I was going to be the oldest person in the room. Like, I had just, it is what it is. 42, that's fine. Good morning, Carol. And I assumed, and I assumed correctly, that I would be the biggest body in the room. Okay? Not only just tall, but heavy. And I knew that going in. And so, but at the time when I signed up for it, I didn't care because I had been wanting to go to yoga teacher training for a very long time because I loved yoga and it just didn't fit the schedule, because a lot of yoga teacher trainings are 6 months to a year. And so it just wasn't fitting into my schedule the way I wanted. And one thing led to another, and this yoga teacher training worked. And so I went into that knowing that I was probably going to be the oldest and I probably was going to be in the biggest body. And I did shrink myself for a while. I tried to be quiet, fit in, all the things, right? And that was just physically. That was just a physical thing mainly, right? It wasn't anything they did. It was on me. My group was a phenomenal group. I love those ladies to this day. We're still in contact. And so, but I chose to shrink. All right. We do it in a lot of different settings. And then the first one that always pops up with my clients is usually with family. Believe it or not, with family and or people that you are with that are not necessarily people in your circle. Okay, but because I consider the people in my circle those that I can be authentic with, right? And I can count on one hand who those people are, and I'm blessed to have those people. I don't have to have a bazillion people in my circle. I don't want bazillion people in my circle. I want a handful of people that I know who I can trust with my business, right? So we do this on multiple different levels, right? One of which is saying sorry for things that don't need an apology. We have someone that I work with that, they're a student leader and they apologize for everything. And I finally said, nope, you can't do that anymore. Nope, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Stop apologizing. Stop apologizing for things that do not need an apology. Right? Another way we shrink is dimming our excitement, our ideas, or opinions to avoid judgment. And I get where we are in the state of the world right now, especially in the United States, that opinions are very emotional, and I get that. So I understand if you're cautious with that. I really do. But especially dimming your excitement for really good things, nothing makes me more frustrated than feeling like I have to dim my excitement for something that I am truly just cannot wait to happen. And it frustrates the ever living out of me, right? Another one is holding back emotions or dreams because you don't want to be seen as too much. You know, I work full time, and in my place of business, I do not talk about this business um, because, number one, I'm a full time employee elsewhere, and this is my part time thing, but because I don't want to be judged, just quite frankly, because where I work, woo woo, it's not necessarily always accepted. Now, if people ask me point blank, and I think I said this, I told this story maybe last year. I walked into one of my classes last year, and someone asked me if I believe in spirit, meaning people who have crossed over. And they flat out asked me, flat out. And I was like, okay, now what do I say to this? Because I'm in my full time job, but they're bringing in my part time job. And so I was honest. And I asked, I said, do you really want to know my opinion? And they were all like, yes. And so I gave them a short, very surface level answer, but it was the truth that yes, I do. And yes, I believe you can, communicate. And yeah. And by the time I finished, they were all like, really? Tell us more. And I'm like, no. We got to get back to what we're doing. But sometimes you're seen as too much, and so you hold those back, right? And another way we shrink ourselves is taking care of everyone else's needs before our own. I hear this so many times from my clients. How many times we push our needs aside for everybody else's, okay? You are important. You are worthy, and you are worth taking up space and taking care of your own self, whatever that means for you. Whatever that means for you. And I've talked before about my me time. I've got to have my me time. My husband has learned to respect that me time. I've got to have that me time. Teresa says, I remember you telling me about that. So funny, their faces. Oh, yeah, they were totally like, they were asking a tons of questions. Oh, my gosh, yes. And it just so happened that right after that, I was going on my first I can't even say it this morning, paranormal investigation. And so as soon as they found that out, after I got back, they had to hear all about that. But anyway, so you take care of yourself, right? So this week, as we go through this week, one thing I want you to start with, if this is resonating with you, I want you to sit down today or tomorrow, whenever you have a quiet moment, and I want you to answer this journal prompt, and I will put it down in the comments afterwards, just so if anybody's watching this, they can get it. But where in your life have you been shrinking? Is it emotionally? Is it physically? Is it spiritually? Is it energetically? Where have you been shrinking to make others feel comfortable? And I want you to think about that. Start thinking about how you can stop shrinking if you want to. If shrinking is working for you, by all means. But if it's not working for you anymore and you just don't feel aligned with that, where are you shrinking? Find that out. Figure that out, and make a list of those times and places or with people that you are shrinking themselves, and try to make a plan to change that. If you need any help with that, let me know. I'll be happy to guide you with that. You can send me a direct message or send me an email. Most of you are on my email list, so either way works for me, right? But I want you to think about where you are shrinking yourself. Acknowledge where you're shrinking. That may be the first step. Maybe you haven't thought about this. Maybe this is a whole new thing for you and you haven't thought about that. You're just going along and you're just going, saying yes and whatever. And you're like, I'm exhausted, but I don't know why. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this. Okay. So I will put that journal prompt down below when we're done here. Carol says, I need my me time because people can be very draining to me. Uh huh. Uh huh. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've noticed too, and I'm horrible about this. Teresa's great about it. I'm horrible about it. Um, is um, one, protecting my energy before I leave the house. I used to be so much better at it than I am now, and I should because I know I need to protect my energy. And the second thing that I need to start doing, which and I know it helps me, so I don't know why it's not in my daily like routine, is calling back my energy because when we people, I mean, I see a lot of people when I go to work, right? When we people, their energy sometimes, it may just be a little bitty, but if you think about little bitty things just, hanging on to you and you are giving away your energy at some level, even though I'm protected myself from others and, I try to keep my energy, I'm still giving, right? That's just, and so I need to call back my energy, release the things that no longer serve me at the end of the day, release those things that the words, somebody cut me off in traffic, whatever the case may be, let that go, send that back, and bring back my own energy because I know I sleep better when I do that. I know I do. I know I do. And I'm horrible at doing that. So, anyway, so this week, I invite you to notice, where you're shrinking yourself, how you're shrinking yourself, and what steps you can take that you can start making a change. Because another journal prompt, and I'll put it in the comments, is what would it look like if you stopped shrinking yourself? What would happen if you did speak, you did show up, you what would happen? What would it look like, right? And maybe speaking that truth and standing taller or saying no or just maybe it's you're simply allowing yourself joy to be seen, right? All those things could happen if you decide to start making those steps to take up more space, right? And as I started earlier, or I mentioned earlier, I will end with this. This month, we are doing deeper dives on Thursday nights about worthiness. And I'm telling you, last Thursday night was impactful. It was so good. It was so healing. And Teresa says, I feel like I would stand taller. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. This coming Thursday night, we're going to do a little bit more expansion on making peace with the voice within and rebuilding safety within yourself. And so I want you to start listening to yourself with compassion. Listen to quiet, not listen to, but quiet that inner critic because we all have them. It's just a matter of are we listening to it or not, right? And begin to trust the voice that speaks to you from love and not fear. Because that's what the ego does. The ego tries to scare you to not do something that it's new or scary, or so it puts fear in that, right? So that's what we're doing Thursday night, and I'm so excited about it. It's sort of I'm combining a couple of things that I had in mind because again, if the ladies in Thursday night say I really think we need to talk about this, I will shift, no problem. So Thursday night we're talking about listening to ourselves with compassion, quieting that inner critic, and start trusting our voice that speaks to us from love. And I think that's going to be beautiful. So if you're interested, come join us. Um, awesome Thursday. It was great Thursday night, wasn't it, Carol? That's going to be a great night to look forward to. Yep, I know. I'm excited about it too. Okay, now two things. One, I was called to pull or pick up a crystal. I don't know how well you can see it. You see it glittering in there. I love this. It's a druzy. That's what this inside, when it's sparkly like that, it's called a druzy, but it's a carnelian druzy. And I was called to that, and I love it because if y'all know me, if y'all been around for a while, two things that I love that I never can remember: the meanings of crystals and anything like number wise. What does the number 333 mean or whatever? I have to look them up every stinking time. But anyway, so this carnelian druzy, the first meaning it says is carnelian is seen as a stone of courage, motivating individuals to take bold steps, speak their truth, and overcome fear. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And the two cards, I know I love the little angel cards. I love this. The first one is compassion. Compassion. And the second one is power. Is power. Compassion and power. And I love this for this because this is difficult for a lot of people. Maybe it's you. And it's easy to go back into those beliefs that make us feel unworthy. So give yourself some compassion and love on yourself, right? Because when you do that, that brings you power and empowerment as well. And you can stand taller, as Teresa said, right? I love these. All right, ladies, I've already spoken way too long. I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful rest of your weekend. For those of us that may be watching that are going to be in the middle of these thunderstorms and all these storms that are coming today, the South, Mississippi, parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, etc., please stay safe. Please stay healthy. And I will see you next Saturday. All right, everybody, have a great weekend.